You're listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. So somehow it doesn't make any sense, but I ended up on one of my banking websites that was a fake website. And the bottom line is the people watching willed me to put my information in there. That's what law enforcement's doing today. I go, but who are we doing it to? But that's the bullshit. They just put you into that grist mill and then say it's all your fault. And then when you speak out about it, they say, well, we're doing it because you spoke out about it. Again, additional psychological tortures. So again, when you have trouble in the world, don't ask why. It's just useless to ask why. It's ignorant to ask why. So I had to go through it, getting a new card issued. That I know exactly what it was. So I get over here at to Sam's Club to fill up gas, and a woman in front of me on a profile shot, 1 in a million, could be a trans woman. Again, one of those deals. So where they start yelling at people that they're trans and all that, and they're not in the bathrooms. So I'm like, yeah, right. If I was one of them, like one of the Trumpians, I'd be like, oh, how dare she get gas as a trans woman? She doesn't deserve the Sam's Club discount. Now, she was having a lot of trouble, and so I realized she was a woman at a certain point because she moved a little bit, and I could see a better view of her face, and an older woman. And but all of a sudden the other curses started hitting, and the voice is like, oh, she's okay, she's not a trans woman. Like it tried to play it off. The demon tried to play it off because it realized that it spoke to the wrong person. That's when it gets really interesting, when you actually hear, the stuff when they get confused. Again, they used a lot of anti today to try to compromise my eyes on with criminal intention. 100%. So it kind of loses its way and doesn't know who to speak to. So what'll happen eventually if you get their power down, and that's what part of prosecuting Devil Trump is, that if his power goes and he actually does it out now, system will begin to speak conservative radicalization to liberals and liberal radicalization to conservatives, so it gets everything reversed. That happened before. Maybe it'll happen again. So that's what it was doing to me. And they go, oh, she's okay. She's not a trans woman. But then it was like, oh, she stinks. She stinks. In your mind, you would like be repulsed by her. Thank you, Lord. You wouldn't necessarily hear what I'm hearing. Thank you, Lord. But you may have emotions related to it, maybe other emotions, other thoughts. Thank you, Lord. I healed her, of course. It was very hard to heal her. God did it through me. I couldn't even think of it. But it's my voice, but God triggered it, 100%. And then I don't know, I got busy getting my gas, so I don't know if she ever successfully received any gas. I don't know if she was kind of waiting at the end and she got all frustrated. I'm thinking either she couldn't get gas the whole time, or she didn't get her receipt. 100%. So I think that's what happened, is she didn't get her receipt. Okay, Larry. But she may not even gotten gas, but she's definitely a cursed person. So well, actually, again, I have to give the credit to God. God said through me. I was like, well, that's weird, because I was getting like inundated with all the bullshit, and I was listening very intently at what it is, what curses were, just to figure it out, and she, okay, here's a blue Avalanche with a black lower. I was wondering if any of them had factory black lowers. So they look like, they could be just using different photos. I don't know. He could have got it painted, but it looks like there's 3 Avalanches over the years, because one of them looks like it has a black lower and 2 look like they have gray lowers, unless he swapped them out. And there's only 2. Right. Oh no, 2 had gray, right? So it has to be a third one, I think, or unless he painted it or something. Whatever it is. But look into that. Chop chop. Bali bali. That's kind of a slang GI thing in Korea. So I was listening, and then all of a sudden I'm saying, healed in the name of Jesus. I'm like, where'd that come from? Wait a minute. Unless it was me. Again, I work in the subconscious also. So like I woke up one time at night and I was in the middle of a spiritual battle, but I was like out there somewhere, like astral projection. Again, it could be my inner self getting through. But again, I give God glory. That's one of the things that people do. They don't give God the glory, even if they say they do. Like Trump. Trump takes credit for everything God's ever done for anybody. And says it's him. Trump's going to get convicted on something. There's no doubt. All right. But I mean, it's very easy to. I mean, he's got a lot of money and there's a lot of people in his network, so it's very easy to overcome that. The one juror. What case was that? There's actually a case where a juror should have been. It could have been. I mean, the case should have been overturned or sent back for retrial with a juror, that one juror, right? Dissuaded the whole jury by bringing up something. But the whole questionnaire was to make sure that didn't happen, right? So it was a wonderful morning. I'll just have to get what is it? That card, the new card, gave me 3% on gas, cash back, but I just have to use my 5. But on this quarter, I get 5% back on gas from my other card, so I'll just use that one. That'll end the year out. Discover is nice. They give you at the end of the year like a bonus just for the first year, I think, of the card. Everything you've ever earned in that year, you get it again. So it's actually the first year it's a 2% card at a minimum, but it had a lot of nice 5%. It's been shifting. I have no idea what it's doing. It used to do PayPal and Amazon were the big ones. You do Amazon like in November and December. I guess it would be the last 3 months of the year. So I guess it would be October, November, December. And that was around Christmas. So you just buy a bunch of stuff from Amazon, you get 5% back, which is weird for me because I could just do my Amazon store card and get 5% back. But again, I like having the option of not paying it if I don't want to, a 0% card. Right. Although I probably could use my store card and get those 5%, that 5%. Agreed. and then it has PayPal like in July. It didn't do PayPal. It did this year. It did wallets, and it's too restrictive for me to have been able to use it. I wish I could have. It'd been great. I'd have got 5% back on that bicycle purchase, but I couldn't get it anywhere. And Amazon doesn't carry the name brand bikes like they used to. And the price on the closest one was the Mongoose Salvo 29, and the price was just, I mean, it's way too high. It could be because I've been looking at it for over the years. Believe me, they'll manipulate prices like that. And it's not all satanic, although some of it could just be metaphysic. No, it doesn't make any sense, the price of that bike. Right. I mean, you get such nice bikes. $16.99. That's not the one I bought, but that's the other one that I was looking at. It's probably worth about maybe $1,200. Like the bike that I bought for $8.99 is still going for like $12.99 some places. Right. But like if you bought a Giant, you can get a Giant for like $16.99. That's way better. Eon's better than that Mongoose. No, they do that. They manipulate prices to try to go against me. There's no doubt. They think it's funny. If they could, they'd make it a price that, would signify that it's them. But I think somebody's either investigating that or told them to stop. Okay. That's why they increased the license plates at that point. Again, it's not about something you did. It's just torturing you with numbers and trying to cause autism and other things. You can present patterns and numbers to twist somebody's brain and could not even torture them. Just have them just keep viewing these patterns as numbers, and it causes the brain to kind of, even dyslexia and stuff like that. They're very sick people, but they're saving us all from something, right? Biggest crooks that ever existed. Biggest devils that ever existed. But they're big. Yeah, they'll be big in hell too, right? That's so funny to listen to the Republicans, how they're going to win everything. The only way they're going to win is to cheat. That's a possibility. Because I always believe that part of what Trump's doing by claiming others cheated was to manipulate people into cheating for him. 100%. Like, there's no reason not to cheat now. It's their MO. They'll spend years talking about cancel culture, then launch the biggest cancel culture operation in the history of mankind. They've always been into cancel culture. So they did in my life. 100%. I mean, look what they did to, Anheuser-Busch. What's that woman's name? Dylan Mulvaney. Right. How you doing, Bob? Good morning. Bob Hamilton, remember to wave to Bob. My car wash is next to Bob's headquarters. As it should be. Sometimes the vehicle doesn't have the power to jump out at you, to see it waving. When Bob's up, you see his vehicles waving all the time. Hey, Bob! Hey, is this thing working yet? There it is. My meter's lagging behind my microphone. So I don't know. The guy that, I told him, hey, call the dealerships, get approved where they, they're going to sell you a vehicle before we go. He'll be out walking his dog, and from a distance, he'll just look at me like I kicked his dog or something. And I'm like, I want to help him, but I'm not rich. I don't know if he thought I had money and somehow I was gonna like help him further. I don't know. I just, I said I don't have the ability to just drive around willy nilly all day. I changed the mileage on my insurance once I, realized my insurance would go sky high for like 5 years, thanks to the government and its criminal cronies. So what they do is they give me this woman's number instead of sending me the letter where it's only 25% my fault, and then they will me not to call that woman. So again, did they know that was going to work? No, but it's worked for them before. So Geico's a piece of shit, as it's always been. They had to get me down low for me to have purchased the Geico to begin with. I swore I'd never buy Geico insurance again. If I'd have known it was government employees insurance, I never would have purchased it. Can't trust a government employee worth shit today. That'd be 10 years ago. But they're saving us from something, right? The truth. They're saving us from the truth. That's what they're saving us from. The truth condemns them and convicts them for the murders they've committed with criminal intention. Here's Johnny. That Ranger dude's like weird. I don't know what his thing is. I just heal him and the people that he talks to, because when he talks to people, then they act weird around me. So I don't approach them. It's just not worth it. Right? I don't know if they're all smoking reefer and think that I'm going to turn them in for smoking pot. They could be using meth. I don't know. Right? I guess meth is the new new cannabis. 100%. But yeah, so I don't hate the guy, but I just can't. I don't know what he's expecting from me. I just met him the other day. I mean, what am I gonna put a 2,000 down on your vehicle? I don't know what he was expecting. Yeah, he tells me he gets quite a bit of money, like almost 5,000 a month, and on the first he'll get that. I mean, I tried to do it so he could have a vehicle right away, and it just for some reason he got weirded out, and that's okay. But that's as far as I can go. 100%. Right. Maybe he thought because I told him, he doesn't have to pay me back for gas, and I was going to lend him the money for the alternator, that I had just a good source of money. I mean, all I'm doing is using my credit. I'm giving you a credit card. Or I'm letting you use my credit card. We'll charge it on my credit card, and that'll be that, and I'll pay it when you pay me, all right? Or when you don't pay me, I'll pay it, right? Thank you, Larry. So I don't know, because the whole thing, he could just have an issue, and I know he's disabled and all that, but what it looks like to me is, if I were to be investigative, that he's possibly working me for money, like that girl did. So I don't know if people do this all the time now. They try to put something on you like it's your fault, right? And then work you over for money. I don't know, but I'm not that interested in walking up going, what's the problem, buddy? I mean, I don't know you, man. I know you drink beer. I know you smoke cannabis. Okay. But when you don't have money, you probably should not do that. Right. People getting high and drunk and then looking at me like I'm rich just because the only reason I have money is I don't get high and drunk. If I got high and drunk, that'd be it. I wouldn't have any money. High, drunk, and cigarettes. You know what that costs a month? Maybe that's all. Like, yeah, here's the investigators. The only reason I don't rape anyone is because they're watching me. The only reason I don't I drunk and smoke cigarettes is because they have to do it. I mean, that's how they twist somebody's life. They're sick. They take all the credit for charity, saying, "Oh, he's grooming people." I mean, it's a major criminal conspiracy. It's racketeering, it's extortion, and it's under color of law. And it's the problem is that we know that they project their own faults, their own crimes. 100%. I mean, they're actually using CIA technology to project their own crimes into the life of a victim. So again, Heuermann's kind of a weird case. I think I know the detective. I mean, I don't know him, but I know of him. That he's the, I guess, the chief there. Right, and he's got to be weirded out. I mean, it's good for him that it happened. I mean, it looks good, but he's got to be weirded out. That's some weird shit. 100%. Guy ran around living the party high life for 13 years. While they were destroying my life for nothing. And Heuermann's not the only one. There's probably hundreds and hundreds of Heuermanns out there. The question is, who did they try to put that case on when they skipped over a Heuermann or Hauermann, whatever his name is? Who did they extort? Who did they try to kill? Who may have committed suicide under such stress? Because they're psychos. They're like, well, they committed suicide, even though Heuermann did it, or Hauermann, whatever his name is. They probably committed some crime because they committed suicide. I mean, that's their mentality. They're sick. Sickest of the sick. They are the reprobate mind. 100%. Again, the Bible tells you that God gives some people over to reprobate mind, but that doesn't mean that everybody that's been given over to reprobate mind is God's doing. Again, this is not the Father's kingdom. Because that would denote if God absolutely controls where that sits, then this would make this the Father's kingdom. 100%. And it's less the Father's kingdom now than it was when Jesus was here. Because it's an increased deception. They're still doing the same thing. They're still crucifying real Christians. They're still, the satanic synagogue of Satan, etc. 100%. Let me heal this guy here. So again, I don't think their places are going to be ready right away. I don't understand. I don't think it's one organization that's staying, where I stay. I think it's just, or it's probably an organization that's housing people that are having emergencies, but it's not like one location was, not ready or shut down for a period of time and it's going to reopen at a certain point. So they're all like individual cases, I think. And the one woman, it was just an old house she was in, and it needed to be refurbished, and something happened, and they're taking care of her. She's in she hasn't, and she's older and she has some disability, and she's anyway, I heal her when I see her. She has trouble standing at times, that kind of thing, when she's coming from like a squatted position or a seated position. So she had a place that needed some sort of to be rehabbed. I don't know if they're going to stick her in another place or they're rehabbing her place. I'm not sure the entire situation, but they're definitely trying to take care of her. And he met with her yesterday on the outside, and um, they were, she was telling me they were talking about, if you need food, trying to care for her. So it seemed like a good group of people. They had like 3 people speaking to her, and I'm sure they spoke to other people. So they're from Kansas City, as far as I know. It could be county people, I don't know, or maybe even a private organization. But they're working through situations where people don't have housing, and they're gonna, and they told her there's going to be a meeting, and they're trying to do the right thing. So I don't know. We're with a system that's trying to take care of the needs of people less fortunate and having some sort of housing issue in life. Years ago, she lived in the inner city. It's just easier that drives the bus. Difficult out here for her. Now she does have some friends that will drive her around. So that's again can't be an issue as far as housing people regulars from the inner city when we put them out in an outlying area. I mean, I was a fan of that. I just thought that would be a good idea, spreading the whole thing out into a larger geographic area. 100%. That helps with the program. Again, they're using that in New York. I think they used it in LA briefly. So we're looking at what happens when they lose that transportation network that's in the city, the mass trans. Right. So again, they're providing. There was also a I don't know if it was because they were there or what it was. There was a pantry, and it was giving out, and was providing also there. I never saw it before, so I think it's related to their presence. 100%. Thanks, Larry. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Larry. So, who was that? Was it LA? No, it wasn't LA. I guess I dropped it off over at LA Mayor's page, the news article. Somebody is beginning to move on. San Diego was moving on. Thank you, Larry. Was moving on the containers, the tiny homes made out of the shipping containers. I think that's a great project. There you go, Rich. I don't know if my signal's working. It looks like not. All right, it looks like I'm back on here. Yeah, I was speaking about the San Diego moving what do they call it? Cargo van housing project where they're going to turn them into tiny homes. remember that it's weird, but it's kind of, and I don't take advantage of the social things at apartment complexes only because they put people in and they make me aware of it, and I don't need to deal with sellouts and things like that. However, it's kind of that idea for some people. You need that social uh, organization, or where the organization provides some a social connection. Uh, Again, the people that are unhoused are a lot of times harmed in those like apartment complex scenarios. Again, it's not rocket science, and it involves also corrupt and criminal law enforcement officers and people that are running stores. Right, so managers, maybe even the cashier, and they cast a spell on top of it, but they hit them when they come in shopping. So the idea is not to give anybody any relief. Now they'll tell you, well, we just want them to confess to a crime. So even in what they're saying, it's corrupt. You don't get to torture somebody for a lifetime because some idiot, some narcissistic fuckhead, wants to do them for their lifetime. But you do, right? But what does that mean? That means you're admitting that the system is fallen. The system is criminal. 100%. So again, there's a lot of that going on. They're making people homeless, keeping people homeless, torturing people into homelessness. So you have to undo that by, the program that I described. Otherwise, you'd be wasting your money. And of course, they go, well, it's not wasting my money. My snitch lives over there now. That's the kind of weirdo that they are. Their little criminal spycraft army that they call informants. Ends up plugging into all our programs when they wouldn't have the program to begin with for anybody if they could avoid it. So once the program's created, then they take it over and only place their criminal operators. What do they call that? Not a predator. They are predators, but a parasite. They're parasites. They got rich on my programs that I create, on my suggestions. So I'm trying to dry my vehicle. I washed it, even though it's going to rain today. I have free car washes, so it is what it is. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.